Still tensions rising, I hear voices in my head. They counsel me, they understand. They talk to me, they talk to me. They tell me things that I will do. They show me things I'll do to you. They talk to me, talk to me, talk to me, talk to me. They talk to me, talk to me, talk to me.
What's up, you YouTubers? It's HarpyHunter89 coming at you from the Duelist Den, and the voices in my head have told me it's time to do my deck profiles. Now, for those of you who don't know, a couple weeks ago I went to a regional qualifier. I didn't do so well. This is actually a deck I used at the regional qualifier. Unfortunately, I've ran into a few more Metalfoes players than I had originally expected. Out of the 9 rounds, I ran into 4 Metalfoes players. I lost to all 4 of them. So it kind of kicked me out of the top placements I needed to get my invite. But anyway, I've been promising deck profiles for a while now, and I've finally gotten the chance to do them. I did want to wait for a couple weeks after the regional so I get the cards to upgrade my decks to counter a few problems I noticed I was having with them. And I figured I would start with the deck I actually used at the regional. In case you haven't realized from the deck, or from the title of the video, this is my Igknight deck. So this is actually an upgraded deck, or an updated deck I should say. So let's get started with it. You run, well I run anyway, 3 Totem 5s. It's a really good card. It's pretty much a Regeki on steroids. If you pendulum summon this with 4 other monsters, it blows up every card your opponent controls and deals 500 damage to your opponent for each card destroyed. Next, 3 Royal Magical Libraries. Every time a spell card is activated, this gets a counter on it, and once it has 3 counters, you can remove 3 to draw a card. So it's a really good search engine, or draw engine for the deck. I run 1 Rescue Hamster. This is a pretty simple card for this deck. What you do is when it's in your pendulum zone, you banish it and add 2 pendulum monsters with the same name from your, or face up from your extra deck to your hand. Then I run a deck set of all of the Igknight pendulums. The level 3s, you have Igknight Crusader and Igknight Squire. Level 4s are Igknight Paladin and Igknight Templar. The level 5s are Igknight Cavalier and Igknight McGraw. And the level 6s are Igknight Giant and Igknight Veteran. Now for those of you who don't know, all of the Igknights are normal monsters while on the field, and while they're in the pendulum zone, they all have the same pendulum effect, which is if you have an Igknight card in your other pendulum zone, you can destroy both cards in your pendulum zones. If you do, add 1 Fire Warrior type monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Since all the Igknights are Fire Warrior types, it pretty much allows you to search out any Igknight monster that is in the deck. Moving on to the spell cards. For the draw engines, we have a 1 Day of Peace and an Upstart Goblin, pretty basic staples. For searchers, we have a Reinforcement of the Army, a Summoner's Art, and 2 Terraformings. And finishing up the spell lineup, we have 3 Ignition Phoenix. Ignition Phoenix again is another searcher for the deck. It allows you to destroy an Igknight that you control in order to search an Igknight from your deck, and it also gives all your Igknights a 300 attack and defense boost. Or, yeah, attack and defense boost. Alright, going into the extra deck, you have your Wind Up Zenmaines, pretty basic for rank 3s. Tri-Edge Levia. This card banishes monsters it destroys by battle, and once per turn during either player's turn, you can attach material to cause your opponent's monster to lose 800 attack and negate its effects. And then number 51, Finisher the Strong Arm. This isn't a very common card that you see people using, but what Finisher does is whenever it battles, you can detach a material, place a counter on it. When it has 3 counters at the end of each battle or damage step whenever it battles, it destroys all cards your opponent controls. In addition to that, it cannot be destroyed by battle itself. So it has built-in protection and has a mass destruction effect. I run more rank 4s in here than I do any other rank. So let's get started with it. I run 2 copies of Honor Arc. It's a staple rank 4. Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon, again another staple rank 4. Evil Swarm Ouroboros. This card gives you ability to either bounce an opponent's card, make your opponent discard a card, or banish a card from their graveyard. Number 32 Shark Drake. This is a double attack card. What it does is when it destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you detach a material, special summon that monster back to the field in attack position, and decrease its attack by 1,000 points. And when it does so, it allows this card to attack a second time during that battle phase. For rank 5s, we've got 2 Shark Fortress. Shark Fortress has 2 separate abilities. The first is you can detach a material to target a monster you control, and it can attack twice this turn. And the second effect is a continuous effect that states that if this card is on the field, your opponent cannot attack another monster you control except for Shark Fortress. So if you get both of these out on the field, which is real easy to do with Ignites, then you lock your opponent out from attacking. Next we have number 61 Volcasaurus. Pretty simple, detach a material, destroy your opponent's monster, and then inflict damage equal to that monster's attack points to your opponent. Next we have Chaos number 101, Silent Honor Dark. What this card does is, once per turn, you can target a special summon monster your opponent controls and attach it to this card as a material. Then, if this card was destroyed by battle, I believe it is. Let me double check. Oh nope, it's just destroyed by any means. So whenever this card is destroyed, if it had material and you have Honor Arc in your graveyard, then you can special summon this card back from the graveyard, and then you gain life points equal to its original attack. For rank 6s, we've got a Swordbreaker. Swordbreaker's effect is you attach a material and declare a monster type, dinosaur, dragon, etc. And if it battles a monster of the chosen type, that monster is instantly destroyed with this card's effect. We also have Chaos 73 Abyss Super Splash. This has 2 abilities, but one of them requires you to have number 73 Abyss Splash attached to it as a material, which I obviously don't run in this deck, so I can't use that ability. But the ability I care about is that once per turn, when your monster is involved in a battle, you detach a material to have that monster gain attack equal to the attacking monster's attack points. So it's pretty much an honest for a rank 5. And the final extra deck card is number 39 Utopia Beyond. Now this card has a secondary effect, but it requires you to have a Utopia monster in your graveyard. Since Beyond is the only Utopia I run in this deck, I can't use that effect. But the effect I care about most of this is that when it's Xyz summoned, it drops the attack points of all your opponent's monsters to 0, which allows you to quickly go for your OTKs. For the side deck, I run 2 Majesty's Fiend, just because Skill Drain is on the limited list. But this prevents your opponent's prevents monster effects from being activated. The only downside to this is that you can't special summon it. But with Ignites, you don't really do like any normal summoning whatsoever unless you're summoning out library or your Royal Magical Library. So tribute summoning this is not too bad, especially since it only requires 1 tribute. But it's mainly in the deck just to stop monster effects. Next we've got Corinne. This is a pretty staple card these days. Finally we've got Vector Pendulum, the Draco Overlord. This is actually a new card in the side deck. Like I said, I went up against 4 Metalfoes players at the regional a couple weeks ago and lost to all 4 of them. Mainly because I didn't have this card in the side deck at the time. But after that, I quickly got my deck set of this just to counter Metalfoes if I ever face them again. Next up, we have Forbidden Scripture. Now what Forbidden Scripture does is if a monster battles an opponent's monster during damage calculation, negate all their card effects on the field, and then that battle uses the monster's original attacks for the battle phase. Pretty cool card. Next up, we have Pot of Acquisitiveness. This is actually a new card. I actually just pulled a deck set of this at the regional. I was actually trying to get a traded deck set beforehand, but I wound up pulling all 3 copies of, or 2 copies out of my packs and trading for the 3rd. But this is in here in case you go up against a Dark Law, someone who's running Dark Law, just because this lets you get your banished cards back if Dark Law is on the field. For the final spell in the side, we have Galaxy Cyclone. Cards like Solemn Strike, Solemn Warning, etc., are a real problem. So having a card that can destroy a face down on the back row is really essential for this deck, and I chose Galaxy Cyclone over MST mainly because you can use Galaxy Cyclone from the graveyard as well. For the only trap I run in the deck whatsoever, I've got Skill Drain. Skill Drain works real well in this deck, mainly because all of the Ignites are normal monsters on the field, so Skill Drain can't affect them, and it shuts down your opponent's monsters' effects as well. Well, that's it for this deck profile. I've got 60 main board, 15 extra, and 15 side. I hope you guys enjoyed this profile. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. And also let your friends and family know if they play Yu-Gi-Oh! That they need to get on here, watch some of my videos, and subscribe to the channel as well. Let me know what you guys think might need to be changed in this deck. I'm always welcome to constructive criticism. Now, like I've said in previous deck profiles, don't just say, oh, well, that's a stupid choice just because it's a stupid choice. Give me some intelligent feedback. If you have any ideas on how I can improve the deck, please let me know. Until next time, this is Harpy Hunter 89 signing off.